Representative Nicole Malliotakis won her primary in New York's 11th Congressional District on Tuesday night. She is poised to face off against Max Rose come November, who she unseated in 2020. Malliotakis has been vocal in her criticism of the Biden administration. In her victory speech, she blasted Democratic policies for inflation, border security, and education. The New York Republican added that she is, quote, sick and tired of the Democrats running our country into the ground.
Thank you very much, everyone. It is really humbling and an honor to be here and to continue to have the faith of the people in Staten Island and Brooklyn to serve them for another 2 years. This is just the beginning, getting the Republican support. And I know in November, with all of you by my side, that we will prevail once again in this upcoming election. I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank my staff. I want to thank my volunteers who really did an amazing thing tonight. They were able to drive out the vote in a primary where we won by a larger margin than we did 2 years ago. Yeah! There seems to be well over 75% of Republicans who turned out tonight supporting me to be their nominee. And I humbly accept the nomination to be the Republican and conservative candidate. Yeah.
All right!
I want to take a moment to thank my mother, Vera, who's here today. My dad, who I hope is watching on Facebook Live. And I want to thank them for their support. And obviously, they instilled in me the work ethic, but really the passion to preserve the American dream that they were able to live as immigrants to this great country. And that's really why I ran for Congress in the first place, because we are at a crossroads in our nation. There are those who are attempting to destroy the very fabric of our country. There are those who are attempting to dismantle the American dream. There are those who want to punish people who want to work hard and be independent and live in this great country on their own without the assistance of our government. And I've learned over the last few years that there's an attempt by the left to want to tear down what America is, what makes it so special. And you see it in their policies each and every day. Many people ask me, how was my first term in Congress? And to be honest, it was a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. It's been one thing after another, one battle after another. And as New Yorkers, we know how bad it is under one-party Democrat rule. We see it at the city level. We see it at the state level. And now the rest of the country is learning what it's like to live under one-party Democrat rule, and they do not like it one bit.
No!
Now, even though I've been a member of the minority, and as you know, the Democrats run the House, they run the Senate, they have the White House, we've been able to push back on a lot of these radical policies. It would be much worse than it is right now if the policies that they tried to implement actually took effect. You know, from the very beginning, we stopped them in their attempts to implement radical election law changes. They wanted to ban voter ID in every state in America. They wanted to implement same-day voter registration where someone can vote and register and vote the day of an election without Board of Elections actually vetting them to ensure that they were a citizen, that they were eligible to vote, that they even lived in the district. Then they tried to take away the rights of our police officers, strip them of their qualified immunity, as they did here in New York City to the NYPD. They tried to take away their resources. We stopped that as well. Then Jerry Nadler, the neighboring district, he introduced a bill to pack the Supreme Court because they didn't like the decisions. Well, you know who else did that? Hugo Chavez did it in Venezuela. That is how he destroyed the richest country in South America. 45,000 consecutives ruled in he and Maduro's favor after they packed the court from 20 to 32 justices. We can never allow that to happen here in the United States. And we will never allow that to happen here in the United States.
All right, exactly.
And of course, the $5 trillion in inflationary spending that Joe Biden tried to propose, his Build Back Better agenda. We worked together, we exposed it, we got the American people on our side, and we put those moderate Democrats in a box where they could not support it, and we were able to kill that bill. Think about how much worse inflation would be. But let's look forward, and I tell you these things not to depress you, what the Democrats are trying to do. We should be happy that we're able to stop a lot of these bad policies. But the truth is, we are facing so many crises in this country right now due to Democrats in control of Congress and our president. The border crisis, the public safety crisis, the inflation crisis, the energy crisis. I can go on and on. Now, I believe strongly, with your support, and with those who voted for me, didn't vote for me tonight, or couldn't vote for me tonight, but are waiting for November, we will hold on to this seat, and we will take back the House of Representatives and fire!
Take it back! Take it
We
back!
will fire Nancy Pelosi once and for all. And when we do, you will have a Congress that is more interested in teaching reading, writing, and arithmetics than some type of critical race theory and sexual orientation to our kids. You will have a Congress that will be more concerned about hiring more police officers to keep our cities safe, more Border Patrol agents to keep our borders safe, than 87,000 IRS agents to take more of your money.
Yeah.
You will have a Congress that is serious about stopping the deadly flow of fentanyl into our streets and not put the drug cartels above the safety of the American people. And you will have a Congress that understands that we are abundant in natural resources and that we must explore them, extract them, and use them, and not beg our adversaries like Iran and Venezuela for more oil. That is the key to lowering the gas prices and getting us out of this mess that we're seeing with rising food and costs. The bottom line is, I know, like me, that you are sick and tired of the Democrats running our country into the ground. That you understand that we must have a balance if we are going to preserve this great nation. And that under one-party rule, we have gone too far to the left, and their policies are broken. So I appreciate everyone's work today to get us to this point. But the reality is, it's obviously just beginning. You know, I'm facing a rematch in November with Max Rose. You guys remember him, right? He was that guy that walked in front of the 122 precinct while they were holding disgusting signs attacking our police officers and chanting defund the police.
Yep,
That Max Rose.
I was it.
That Max Rose who supported Bill de Blasio's plan to close Rikers, and still does, wanting to build jails in our community, including Brooklyn.
Oh.
The Max Rose who lent his support and was like one of the first ones on board with Cuomo's radical bail laws. Now he's trying to backtrack because it didn't work out for him so well. Max Rose, that after he lost, went to go work for Joe Biden and decided to be his #1 fan, and then actually said that history will be on the side of Joe Biden. And the Max Rose that voted 97% of the time lockstep with Nancy Pelosi and the squad. And the Max Rose that supported amnesty, even for gang members, and supports sanctuary cities and putting illegal immigrants first. That's the guy we're running against. But you know what's great about rematches? You know what's great about reruns? You know how they end. But it won't happen without your help. So I urge everyone, and I hope Mr. Matlin joins our team, And I will say this about those who did not support me tonight. I understand you're not going to agree with me with every single vote I take. You know, Ed Koch used to have a saying, if you agree with me 7 out of 12 times, you should vote for me. If you agree with me 12 out of 12, you should seek a psychiatrist. Unfortunately, politics have become so divisive where if you don't agree with me one time, you need to be primaried and voted out. And we cannot do that as Republicans in particular, especially when we are so outnumbered in our city and our state. We must work together, we must come together, and we will defeat, with the help of our friends in the Independence Party, the Conservative Party, and the Democrat Party, we will once again prevail and hold on to this seat, which is critical to taking back the House. I want to thank our men and women in blue. You know, I received a lot of support from our law enforcement unions, in particular those who came out early, the sergeants union, the detectives union, the lieutenants, the captains, and our MTA police, the Uniformed Firefighters Association, which stayed neutral last time, but we picked up their support, so that was a tremendous win for us, especially as we head toward November. And the Uniformed Fire Officers Association, who also have endorsed us, and the Sanitation Union as well. And we also have many other endorsements, but I also have to give one particular thank you to someone who supported me 2 years ago, supported me again in this race. I spoke with him yesterday. He's very proud of the work we're doing on behalf of the country, and that is our President, Donald Trump. So, again, thank you to all of you who worked so hard over the last few months to make sure that we came out of this primary very strong. And once again, we're going to tell Max Rose, we're going to tell Max Rose that if he wants a job, he's going to have to go back and work for Joe Biden. But unfortunately, that job will only last for another 2 years. So thank you, everyone, and God bless. And